We're a new monastic community in that we practice a set of common spiritual practices which historically and traditionally are called a rule of life. Our team of people is fairly small. All of us on that team are committed to living with our rule of life, which is simple. It's prayer, work, table, and neighbor. And underneath each of those 4 areas, there are multiple practices. So the set of common practices and the idea that we have both a residential community here and we have a dispersed community, which is true of other monastic communities like the Benedictines. Our source of inspiration for being a new monastic community comes from several places. There's the Benedictines that were formed when the Roman Empire was falling apart. Of course, that Benedict was the father of Western monasticism. But also, we think about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who during World War II said in a letter to his brother that the church of the future is going to have to be a new kind of monasticism that has nothing in common with the old other than a radical commitment to live the Sermon on the Mount. And so those 2 sources and then the Catholic worker movement and some other sources really inspire us. We just ask people to come and join in with what we're doing and let the experience of God and commitment to God grow from there. Because our rule of life is so simple, it's easy for us to invite people who are not religious, who are from different religious traditions than our own. We're United Methodist, or other religions even join in with what we're doing. Our work with refugees, for example, and our nutrition programs, our gardening programs, all of these things are interreligious and based more on spiritual practice than on doctrines that we believe in. So I think of Diana Butler Bass, for example, who said that really the pathway for faith ought to be first belonging, then behaving, and then you believe, that this is what makes sense psychologically and spiritually. And that's actually how we practice it. As we show up together, we garden together, we harvest food together, as we support refugee resettlement together, do these things together, we are belonging to each other, we're behaving together, and then we experience God together out of these shared practices. And we're able to talk about what we're experiencing and what we believe about God based upon actual experience. This doesn't preclude theology proper or studying the Bible. We also have prayer practices, and we do read the Bible together, and we read other books and have more traditional theological formation. But our approach to discipleship is based upon practice. It starts with practice and it ends with articulation. You know, the role of monastic communities historically has not been to reject the church, but it's been a prophetic and healing presence within the church. And so we are intentionally connected to the institutional church, but we are structured in such a way that it makes it possible for people who might be part of a traditional church or who have no use for church or are allergic to church to join in with what we're doing and to be part of our community of practice. And then that way, for people who are in a traditional church that may not have much going on, it gives them a way to participate in some of our ministries, and it also sparks imagination for what's possible for the church. I love taking care of the livestock on the farm. That's my primary farming duty around here. And I love seeing people get excited about serving. I'm seeing lives transformed, people who before had never interacted with people from other cultures and are now close friends with people who've come to this country as refugees and are now finding freedom and joy in assisting people in learning English or helping with refugee resettlement, getting set up and acclimated to our culture. So I'm seeing transformation that way. And I'm also seeing transformation of quite a number of people who really had been harmed by the church, who grew up in a form of religion that was toxic and abusive, frankly, who were allergic to God talk, Jesus talk, Bible talk, any of that, but have found their way here as a part of our commitment to green practices. And in the process of friendship formation and just doing things together, have found a deep faith in God. And so that gives me much joy.